Hi guys, and welcome to a special RWBY discussion. I'd like to start doing these as kind of a little bit of way to interact with you guys and get some discussion going on some of the topics. And one of the topics I wanted to bring up right off the bat is RWBY weapons. We see quite a wide variety of weapons, and I'm only going to focus on the 8 characters that we see predominantly so far in the series, which, keep in mind, we've only got up to episode 8. So this is after 8 episodes. If some of this information is obsolete, I apologize. I'll try and update the video or release a new video so that you guys can watch, and I'll update it. But the first person's weapon I'd like to start off with is Nora. Nora is a little bit of what you'd call a berserker in a classic role-playing game. She has a giant hammer, which goes together nicely with the other half of the weapon's capabilities, which is a rocket launcher. And similar to RWBY's weapon, where she's able to use gunfire and bullets to enhance her attacking strength and enhance her speed, and even in some case catapult people, she has a similar concept, except it's going to be more powerful. You're talking rockets versus, a sniper rifle. And Nora wields it with very little trouble at all. In fact, it's a gigantic hammer, and she's wielding it like it's just a play toy. And that's perfect for Nora because she's laughing and excited throughout an entire fight. And it just makes sense for her to be a berserker type. The next one I wanted to talk about is Ren's weapon, which is basically 2 small pistols that shoot rapidly, almost like an SMG. And he's dual wielding these pistols / daggers. However, we don't see a lot of damage come through this. We see some damage when he slams his blades into a basilisk, but other than that, when he's fighting those basilisks, we don't see his projectiles really doing much. And this is only a little bit of a thought on my part, but the projectiles appear to be his aura as well. So that might be an aura-based weapon, which is interesting because later on he uses aura to absolutely obliterate the basilisk. But as far as his weapons go, they seem to match his personality. He's not a guy who needs to wield a big hammer or a huge scythe. He's the kind of guy who's going to take care of business, and he doesn't rely on his weapon to some degree that the characters in this series do. And that could change for some characters. The next weapon I want to talk about is Pura's spear and shield. So far, this weapon hasn't revealed, this weapon combo, I should say, hasn't revealed too many secrets. For the most part, we've seen Pura's skill in wielding them, but we haven't seen really any special abilities that it has. We know she's quite proficient in it, as she spears John to a tree from several hundred yards, well, I shouldn't say yards, but several hundred feet away, if not more, which is quite an impressive feat for anyone who's thrown any object like that. It's very difficult. But we don't see anything attached to aura with her, or any special magic or anything like that. But we know aura for her is going to be a big thing, as she's able to unlock John's aura with what seems to be a considerable amount of effort, but she's able to do it, which just tells you how talented she is with her aura. John's weapon is probably the least developed at this point, and probably has the most potential for growth, with just a sword and a shield, and the shield retracts and becomes the sheath for the sword. I think John's weapon is going to end up using aura somehow, either to attack or defend. And because the reason I say that is because if John's got a lot of aura, he's there for a reason. And those weapons may seem plain now, but each one of these weapons will probably develop, and we'll probably get new styles of using them throughout the series. It'll just be interesting to see how Monty incorporates that into the series. So I've got some high hopes for John's weapons. Talking about Blake's weapon, this is one of the more interesting weapons. It starts out as a cleaver, has a katana inside, and then transforms into, I don't know, a gun attached to a piece of fabric that she can swing around. And it's pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but it's probably the most unrealistic weapon in the series, which is fine. I mean, it's an anime series. We're not worried about realism here. We're worried about what's cool. And I'll be honest, her weapon's cool. We don't see much in the way of special abilities yet, but it looks like it's a very utilitarian weapon where it's going to take on a lot of different roles, and she's going to wield it, how those roles, how she fits into those roles, which I think works for her because she's a pretty quiet character. So that weapon, I think, is one of my favorites. But I'll tell you what my favorite weapon is after we're done here. The next weapon I want to talk about is Yang's. And I feel this weapon, Yang makes this weapon. The weapon doesn't make this one for Yang, doesn't make Yang, is what I should say. And the reason I say that is because Yang has a lot of speed and strength just by herself. Now, when she attacks, obviously her weapon's going to enhance her momentum with firing a projectile. But it doesn't make or break her. She's got insane anger issues that just makes her unstoppable. And not only that, she's already fast and she's already skilled as far as martial arts are concerned. So really, her weapon is there to enhance her already insane skills. The second to last weapon is Weiss. And Weiss's weapon, I think, has a lot of potential as well because she's basically got 4 modes of magic. Is she going to be able to combine those magics at some point? Is she, she's very proficient already with the magic, but this sword, to me, has the second most potential for growth as far as abilities and special things she can do. So that's going to be interesting to see how Weiss develops her weapon. The last person's weapon is Ruby Rose, and it's the Crescent Rose. This is probably the most insane weapon there ever was. You're talking a scythe that turns into a sniper rifle that turns into an assault rifle. I mean, let's think about this for a moment. You're talking about a little girl who wields a giant scythe, who uses the momentum generated by the projectiles in her weapon to increase her speed, increase her killing capabilities, but she also uses the assault rifle to maximum capability as well as the sniper rifle in order to take down strong opponents. We've yet to see that so far in the series, but we've seen it in the trailer where she's outnumbered and she's able to absolutely annihilate a group of crapes. I can't remember the name, but if you go watch the trailer, or if you've watched the trailer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's perfect for her. And the reason I say that is because early on in the series, we established that this girl is obsessed with weapons. And who else to have such an insane weapon but the girl who's obsessed with such insane weapons? So it fits her character perfectly. The only thing I'm worried about is it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room for growth. But so far Monty's been pretty creative, and the strategies for fights and stuff have also been utilizing other things instead of relying solely on just one person's weapon. And that's the main difference between what you're going to see so far in RWBY versus any other anime series that's shonen based or anything like that, is there's teamwork. We're not so worried about one-on-one fights where people are worried about their skill and worried about their weapons capabilities. We're worried about the whole group, which is perfect. And that's what's going to make this series interesting, is the teamwork element, not necessarily the individual weapons and abilities. But guys, this video is made for you so that we can generate a little discussion on the weapons of RWBY. So please comment, tell me what your favorite weapon is, some speculation as to what some of the abilities are going to be, what type of potential for growth is there, what are you looking forward to the most with a certain weapon, anything like that, guys. Any comments or concerns with weapons, get them out there, put them in the comments, guys. And just to let you know, my favorite weapon so far has got to be Nora's, and that's partly because of the character wielding it. She's insane, and so is her weapon. So if you disagree with that, be fine. You know, that's fine. Go comment about it in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and comment in the video, guys. The more comments we get, the more discussion we generate. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of comments we can put on this video. So see you later, guys. Bye.